guys. This is the Crazy Piece podcast. I'm Thomas Paxton.
Hang on 1 second. I'm Timothy Potter. That's like right in my face. I can't even see this.
I'm Thomas Paxton, aka otherwise known as TPAW. You guys might know me on other fronts. So this is Crazy Piece podcast. We watched It Part 2 today, and that was actually really enjoyable. It's funny because you say really enjoyable, and it's a horror flick about a fucking clown, giant monster who preys on children, and they're adults in this movie, and it was enjoyable. What do you say about that, right? So.
Well, I always like scary movies because, like I was saying earlier, the only thing that really ever bugged me with any movies was just like when I was small.
Yeah.
I got scared by the first Elm Street with Freddy, and after that, it's basically been like, okay, whatever. Just look at them all, figure out where the special effects are, and all that heavy horse shit.
Yeah, and the thing I liked about, like I said before earlier, I was talking about how I liked how the beginning of the movie is it shows two guys at a amusement park. They're doing a little fair thing. And,
okay, yeah.
And this, yeah, essentially, and the one guy he wins a prize for doing a game thing, and then his boyfriend teases him about it and says, "Oh well, was it really a challenge?" Because he was going against a 9-year-old girl, and he goes ahead and whispers to the girl's ear, "Thank you for letting me win," to make her feel better, and gives her the prize, and then ensues after that they end up. It was a bit more descriptive in the book. It had different point of views, but this one kind of sums it up as they're at the fair, and then these guys are mad at them for being homos, and they decide being themselves really, and they beat them to near death, and then the one gets thrown over a bridge, nearly drowns, and then the clown drags him off and eats him, and the boyfriend has to watch.
It was hungry.
And it was hungry, and
literally.
That's how the movie starts, and it's kind of like that whole normal beginning to a horror movie where it shows you the monster and it shows you what the monster could be, and it's the power of the villain type thing for the hero's tale. But and by the way, writers, so I'm gonna bring up hero's tale a lot whenever I review stuff. But it shows our heroes are losers, as they're called in this movie, because they're the losers from the part one. It shows them being super successful. They have careers, they have families, they built lives for themselves. 27 years later, and it shows them being unceremoniously, being convinced, they fight it. They fight it over and over again, going back to Derry and going back to that clown. And then they eventually do. And what ensues is this master adventure in which all of them have to finally remember stuff that they dealt with in their, in their childhoods and teenhoods. And it's kind of like a massive journey because every one of the characters gets an arc. And one of the things that was enjoyable for me was that not only did they go back to Derry, they fought it, and they're adults, so they'd fight it. They'd be like, "Why do I want to go back to Derry? Why would I want to go back to that nightmare?" And so they fight it over and over again, and then eventually they find that they can't, truly leave without confronting the darkness and confronting this creature, this clown, and eventually have to work together to defeat it. And so that's why it was enjoyable for me, is it was a nice little well-directed horror flick that even there was a part where Richie's in the Grove area where there's a statue and they're near park benches, and the color grading gets altered, and it's he's put into a nightmare type thing. And Tim was bringing up the fact that he really liked that part because it was
I love it when they change the background, the way the color is or gray, they just change it.
Yeah, they alter it.
Oh, so something's happening.
Yeah, it's it's altering the color grading because it's showing the fact that he's in a nightmare and a daymare, essentially, in which he's being confronted by this evil clown, and the evil clown wants to play games with him, and so
just maybe not the same games he wants to play.
Yeah, and how it starts is Richie's in the arcade, and he's remembering that vicious memory of the memory he wanted her to but really it's he was having this little moment with this guy, and homosexuality is frowned upon in Derry back then, and so the bullies one of the bullies, who happens to, I think it was his brother or his friend, he finds out the older kid who ends up getting mad because he sees the other kid interacting with Richie, and Richie offers to play a game with him, like another game. Like he has a coin, he wants to put in the coin machine for the arcade game.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
that
was his cousin.
Okay, so that was his cousin. So
yeah, it was his cousin, and he was just wanting to play another game. What are you talking about? I got you. And then he sees his cousin, who he knows is a complete dick.
Yeah, anti-homosexual.
No. The one who was picking on him.
Yeah.
I can't remember the character's name.
I think it was like
I don't remember.
People are gonna correct us.
He's always
but I think it's.
But
I think his name
is
is Bush or
douchebag
something.
no matter which version of it you watch.
Yeah.
But that guy
Antagonized Beverly in the original miniseries.
That guy's cousin sees that he's walking up, and the cousin clearly knows he's a douche.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, dude, leave me the hell alone. Da 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 da. Like blowing it up to a big situation when it could be like, nah, dude, I don't want to play a game no more. My stupid cousin's here and he's a douche.
Yeah.
And like mellowed it out, but no, and then
Over dramatized it.
yeah. So the kid with glasses gets called a faggot and told to go the fuck away, you little shithead.
Yeah, Richie.
Which is complete bullshit.
Yeah. And so it starts out with that memory, and then, he ends up going into the courtyard and remembers when he was in the courtyard. And then after that, the clown comes after him. Pennywise antagonizes him and makes fun of him for that memory. And that's when, the color grading shifts and gets a bit more, colorful, but, in a weird retro way. And then, it's obviously a daymare. It's obviously like a daymare. And so, reality warps a little bit. And then after that, he's back to being regular color grading. But that moment in the movie was actually really artfully directed. I really enjoyed that part.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And one thing I really liked about this movie was the fact that it carries on this theme.
Unlike your phone. Somebody's talking to us. You need to be on there so we can see what they said. Sorry. We didn't do what we did last week and the week before.
Yeah, I didn't have Twitch open.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, we were trying to give ourselves a green screen for you guys on Twitch, not just on the computer, because I was trying to hook it up on my...
Whiteout Joy says, "What's up, fellas? What's up?"
Not much. We just currently talking about
It Part 2.
Yeah.
Just
the
because
newest one.
Yeah, it's just our way of starting out this podcast, just reviewing a movie that we just watched, because we literally just watched it an hour ago or half hour ago, something like that.
20 minutes.
It's about 48, so about an hour ago, because it ended around 11:40, 11:30.
Yeah.
So it's it's out an hour later.
Yeah. Yeah, because for the first half an hour we were trying to get my new, apparently crappy, for full screen for the Twitch stream.
Mm-hmm.
The coloring's off, the whole thing's off, because it's not an expensive one, it's a little cheap one.
Yeah.
More comments. She's talking to us some more. So
what do you guys usually talk about, and are you aware you hell had no viewers when I joined? So I was just curious who all you are talking to. We're talking to anyone and everyone who ever tunes in. We're basically acting as if there's 1,000 people here that we can talk to, even if there's 0, because that's what you do when you have a podcast and you have a Twitch stream, is that ideally you act like there's an entire crowd of people here, even if there's one person in the crowd. And we're like, "Hey guys, what's up?" That sort of thing. That's what you do when you're doing a presentation.
We also record these so that way we can put them up on our YouTube channels. Mine's the same name as this is. That's my Twitch channel name. So,
just making sure. I fucking heard that, buddy. I'm glad you heard that. That's amazing that you heard that. Didn't know if Buddy was all streaming another device. Yeah, I am currently having the device on my phone so I can see your commentaries and not have to go up there and look at the phone every 5 seconds.
Because we're recording it in the camera for the recordings down here, where you guys are up there on my phone, because I couldn't get my computer and new webcam to do it just right for green screen background. So we decided to just do it on my phone like we've been doing for the last 9 weeks straight.
Yep, we've been doing this for this is our 9th episode, so this is our ninth week of doing this shit, and we do it every Saturday.
We started right before the end of the year.
I'm getting some major vibes from you guys. What kind of vibes you getting? Hopefully good ones.
Bad, neutral.
Hopefully good ones. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully you're enjoying this.
Yeah, because we're just goofing off.
But yeah, like It Part 2 it's this movie about these kids, these the loser squad. That's what they call themselves, loser gang. In which they're basically having to go against the big monster. And in any horror story, you always have to go against the big monster. Usually in horror stories, especially if it's a serial killer story, like Friday the 13th or Michael
Jason.
Myers or Jason, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael, any of them. Basically, they're running away from the villain, but these guys are literally like chasing the villain, trying to kill him, or kill it, the monster, who's essentially an alien being from another planet. But you only know that if you read the books and read like Dark Tower and shit like that. Which I liked how in the third act of this movie, by the way, when Beverly is in that bathroom, and this is the fourth time I've seen it. There's a part where Beverly's in the bathroom. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was a part in the bathroom where the blood is rushing in through the walls and through the toilet and everything, and like the creature keeps popping in, and each time it's a different character from another movie or another Stephen King story, especially that one where he's like, "Here's Johnny," and like that was the Shining, and then like there's like so many other different movies that they were referencing to. I like the Easter eggs and the Carrie reference, because the blood coming in through the walls and through the toilet, that was a Carrie reference.
Well, yeah.
So, like, I liked that.
But, I mean, it's all in the Stephen King universe, so you can throw in whatever you want as long as you keep it in the universe.
Yeah. Like, I'd smoke with a Jay with you guys vibes. That's awesome.
Cool.
We appreciate that. But yeah, like
that won't work when we're in office, but cool.
Right? I mean, that's the thing. When you're in office, you do it privately.
I'm gonna make it legal, so we're not gonna have to worry about it.
Yeah, that is true. We're gonna try and work to make it no longer a stupid fucking offense for you to be even smoking a small one.
The issue. Here's my only issue with making. Well, it's not an issue. I see this as an issue federally.
Here's why I'm watching politics.
Well, no, it's an actual thing that people talk about in California too. Because if the DEA, the federal government, wants to come and say "fuck you," haha, here's a fine, or you spend a month in jail because you had freaking weed on you, or they hit the freaking weed stores in Washington and California where it's legal, because it's still federally illegal.
It's like a Schedule 1.
Which is complete bullshit. The only reason it's Schedule 1 is because somebody who was one of the higher-ups at Disney got pissed because the construction workers who were Hispanic were smoking weed and not doing it as fast as they wanted. So he talked to the president and somebody at the DEA, because he knew people high up in politics, and got it put as the #1 illegal drug, even though it's not. It's a light drug. It's not a hard ass like the rest of
Why, Aljoy? We're talking about being in office. We're talking about running for governor and lieutenant governor. That's what we've been talking about for the last 8 weeks, and this is the 9th week talking about it. And so
I want to run for governor, and I'm dragging him along because he's old enough to go with me as lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm. And it says, "Why can't you all smoke?" I mean, yeah, we generally can smoke. Everyone can smoke. You have consequences when you smoke, but you can definitely smoke. Anyone and everyone can smoke if they really wanted to. I mean, not recommended for children, and not recommended for teenagers or people who are underage, but you can all smoke.
Yeah, see, the only issue I have with the you can't smoke weed bullshit is because I'm disabled and I use it for freaking when I can get it. Because it's a pain in the ass with it being illegal to get it. It's the whole, I'm getting it for pain relief. Because my pain level is usually at anywhere between a 9 and a 10 for me, which for anybody else would be like a 15 to 20.
Yeah. It says, "Oh, you guys are all crazy. I get it now." I mean, yeah, we're Crazy Peas. That's what the podcast name is. It's Crazy Peas. I'm a Crazy Pea. He's a Crazy Pea. I've got a Crazy Pea downstairs. We got a Crazy Pea that's down south in Nephi, named Nephi. And he's with his wife, Cam, who's about to pop a baby, so he's not up here right now. But
next week.
Yeah,
he asked me if I take him down on Thursday so he can be there when.
Yeah, he wants to be there.
They induce her.
Yeah, he wants to be in the room like a real man. Helping his baby come out to the world. Yeah. Explain the P. The P. I am Paxton. He is Potter.
We are the P's.
Yes. Our last name starts with the letter P, so therefore we are P's.
Yeah, we decided to go with that instead of the crazy TNT.
You were the first person who has asked us that question, so we appreciate it.
Honestly, yeah.
I am Josh. Hi, Josh.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, we're usually on Saturday anywhere between midnight and 1 a.m. Utah, Mountain Standard Time. We get on, we podcast, we shoot the shit until 2:30 our time. Sometimes we did one of them until 3 in the morning, and we just goof off, shoot the shit, talk about whatever.
I'd say I am because I am probably y'all's first viewer. Not
No,
you're
we
probably
had,
like our 15th or 17th or 19th viewer, but we definitely
we
appreciate
have one
the support.
or two every week or every other week that comes in that's a regular that sits for an hour or two
Yep.
and just listens, doesn't
There was-
really type.
A couple episodes ago, we had like 7 viewers all at the same time, and they were all chatting and stuff. And I was on my soapbox, and
About mental health.
yeah, I was like,
You went off on a mental health soapbox because somebody called you and you had to talk them down from committing suicide.
Yeah, and it was a mini trigger for me, but I'd much rather them be talking to me and me helping them off the ledge than going to their funeral. So that was
Definitely.
an entire like 45-minute soapbox that I went on talking about how you have to believe that someone cares because this
Well,
person.
because you went on that soapbox, we got like 2 or 3 people in, and then your buddy called you on your phone because he was at work. We told him we were live streaming, so he jumped in and he started talking with us too. It was fun. We had a blast.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I'm uploading that episode actually to YouTube as we speak.
Yeah.
I was supposed to upload it a week and a half ago, but life happens and things get crazy because we're all crazy peas.
Well, I've decided to start dropping mine on YouTube on every Monday around 6 p.m.
Yeah, I've kind of been irregular about it, mostly because I have 3 children, and it's kind of hard to have a regularity.
Also, you've been having trouble with, what was it you said you were having trouble with, the encoding on this computer?
Yeah,
And
encoding's
on
been
your
kind of
laptop?
yeah,
because
encoding's
your laptop
been
didn't
kind
want
of
to do it.
a
It wasn't
bitch.
quite strong enough or whatever.
We all got my follow. I almost committed suicide 2 months ago, so I really appreciate your sense of kindness. I have 2 children. Yeah, definitely do not do that. Definitely look to the light and know that people care about you if you need to, and you want to know that 2 strangers who you just barely met 5 seconds ago care about you. Definitely know that we do.
We love everybody.
Yeah.
We just don't like everybody.
Yeah.
But we love everybody because technically, I love the old saying, you have to love us, we're family. Okay, well then technically I love everybody because technically everybody's family. You go back far enough, we're all related.
Yeah, and
So I love everybody and everybody's cool to hang out.
Yeah, and as far as kindness goes, I don't feel like there's enough of that in this world right now, especially with our country being as divided as it is. And
Which is complete bullshit because...
I go on my soapboxes sometimes,
And so do I.
and he goes on his political ones. I hate politics like more than
it's
anything
not
in the
even
world,
political.
but he
It's
loves politics.
Well, no, I don't like politics. It's the thing of we all need to quit being I'm red, I'm blue, I'm this color, I'm that color, I'm Republican, Democrat, Independent,
Right.
and all the other political parties. It's like, no, we're humans. Let's get along. Let's do like I like from DBZ. No, it's not United States, Canada, Mexico, all the countries in South America, all the countries in Europe, all the countries in Asia. No, we are Earthlings. So why don't we just vote somebody into office who's over all of it, and we just all agree on the same rules and the same thing for everybody. Because it'll make it easier.
Knowing that people care is something a lot of people forget, and most people don't know that. Kindness is a lost art mostly. You are absolutely
Completely
true.
agree.
Like, you are absolutely correct on that one. And knowing that people care is something a lot of people forget. Most people don't know that. Yeah, it is something. Like, I forget that. And I have to remind myself of that every day. I mean, working from home, I have a job where I work from home, and there are days where you feel like whenever you're saying anything out loud and your wife is either asleep on the bed or out with the children and destroying the place, then you have to fix it and everything.
Hey, she helps fix it too. You can't forget that.
You often end up staring off into space and then wondering if your coworkers still give a shit about you. And you often wonder whether or not anything you're doing is actually leading to something good aside from collecting a paycheck at the end of the day. And so I have to constantly remind myself that, people do care, and especially when, like, being an author, like an indie author like myself who published a book back in October last year,
Yeah.
I'm used to a very engaging audience in the fact that, like, I'm the audience essentially. Like, whenever I, like, go on YouTube and I watch people talk about comic book movies and Star Wars and so many other different nerdy things, and I, like, see everyone getting together and being like, "Oh my god, this is giving me so much life." And then when you're an author, it's a bit of a different experience because you put your work out the internet, and then you go on Goodreads and you go on Amazon and you see, like, one review, or you see, like, a couple reviews, and you're just like, does nobody fucking care? And so you just get, like, this lost in this vortex of suck, and it's not an easy party being an indie author, and not an easy party, going to your day job every day and, dealing with people who are having issues with the world, and they're calling in wanting to complain about their cell phones and everything else. And then they spend all day, and it sucks even more when you're talking to people on the phone and people are just like, they get lost in their whole idea in which,
Negativity.
yeah, negativity, like they're addicted to it, like
Oh, most definitely. Those are
it feels
usually
like they're
the
guilt tripping you.
channels. Most of the channels that get the most views are the ones that are chaotic and completely nuts.
He says those kids wouldn't eat if you didn't work. Remember that. Oh yeah, I absolutely do. What do you think gets me through the day and makes me, clock in? May not be interested in books, but fuck yeah, man, I care. I'm glad as fuck that you let me know that, and I think that is cool. So cool, dude. No, I definitely appreciate that. I always have to remind myself that people do care, and that's one of the things, the reasons why I went on that soapbox, is because I'm the type of guy that will help everyone in the world and will talk you off the ledge, and then I will have this forever internal battle as I'm walking away from the ledge, wondering why I didn't jump off of it. So, like, it's kind of something that's
Been
a
there,
constant
done that. Yeah.
it's a constant struggle for me. Like, I'm always the Spider-Man guy. That's why I picked Marvel and DC as being my thing, right? Like, I picked this picture to show the idea of Marvel versus DC, because we were going with a DBZ and Star Wars and other different things.
Can't beat that.
Says totally been there, can relate, 10 out of 10. Yeah, I picked Star Wars and I picked DBZ for quite a few weeks, and then this week I was like, let's freshen this up a bit. So I went with Marvel and DC this time, and a lot of these characters in the picture have dealt with giant struggles, like Spider-Man, Deadpool. Deadpool deals with cancer. Spider-Man, great power comes with great responsibility. Wolverine, we all know his story. So these other characters they can relate to.
Deadpool also because they don't show it in the movies, but it's the multiple personalities that he's always got talking in the back of his head.
Yeah.
But
He's got
I relate to that, and I also relate to the whole Logan thing. It's, you're the superhero, but at the same time, fuck you, I'm a badass, and fuck you.
Yeah.
It's the language thing. It's I'm an adult. Here's the BS straightforward.
Says, I was always the help until I needed the help, and it happened in a blink of an eye. Yeah, and that's always usually how it goes, right? Like, that's usually a lot of people's experiences.
Especially ours.
Deadpool 1 was awesome, but Deadpool 2 was a letdown to me. I have to agree with you there. I mean, I understood
Deadpool
the
2
story.
was just weird.
See, that's the thing, is Deadpool 2 was about grief. It was about grieving. And it was about this guy who literally feels like he has nothing in the world to lose because of the fact, everything in the world, nothing in the world to lose because he's already dying. And then he loses his lady love, who is the thing that he was fighting for in the first movie to get, and then keep, and then he loses her in the very beginning of the second one, and so it's about him trying to get back to her, and trying to get back to her by dying, which he really can't do, generally speaking, without his abilities. And so when they put the thing on his neck, he really was just trying to do that. And so he got ulterior motives there. And so that movie was about grieving and loss. And so I understood what they were doing with the movie. It just wasn't my favorite. And they also used a lot of the structure from the first one.
Well, I'm Reynolds. I have him on Instagram, and he posted, I think it was 2 days ago,
Yeah.
him looking at the new Deadpool mask and looking at the new outfit, how they're upgraded and whatnot. I'm subscribed to him on Instagram because he also has a, what was it? It's a liquor. I can't remember which liquor. I think it's whiskey or vodka. I think it's whiskey. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has an alcohol company.
Yeah. And he posts about it on there all the time. So, yeah.
I was judging you guys at first, but I totally regret it now, and I'm ashamed of myself for it, and I apologize. You guys are awesome. I really like you all. We like you. Even if you judged us and you decided we were the worst things in existence, we would still like you, and we'd still appreciate you for even at least tuning in and at least trying.
Oh, yeah. Completely. Because we get judged all the time. He gets judged for being the overworker or lazy, or because I've heard him complain, shoot, what was that, like a month ago? About, like, everybody always, why don't you use your tax returns to go get all this stuff and all this stuff and all, you know,
yeah, no matter what I'm doing.
all that crap. And it's like, dude, I got bills and I still got kids and diapers, and I'm still trying to help my kids get to the next level while helping myself get to the next level and keeping my wife sane enough so that way everything doesn't blow up and we don't kill each other on accident.
Yeah, I have, like, that's the thing about me is I tend to stretch myself in every which direction. And when I totally fumbled that Dr. Pepper and accidentally spilled some of that soda on the back of your car,
yeah,
I was like,
in the car,
I was like, this is kind of like a symbolism of the fact that I'm trying to juggle all these different hobbies and all this other shit and bullshit, and it just fumbles out of my hand. And I'm just like, there's a representation. I am holding too much. And I'm like watching this, and so, but like,
see, that's why we also started the podcast, because
Yeah.
you said you like doing the podcast where you were doing movie reviews on your buddy's channel.
Yeah. I spend 8 hours a day talking at my job about, my job stuff, and not enough time talking about stuff I enjoy. So.
Well, that's why when you mentioned the podcast, I'm like, okay, let's do it. I got a Twitch channel.
Yeah.
We can record it on your computer.
Yeah, plus this also kind of reminds me. See, in the last 8 weeks, I was on Facebook the other day and was like, late night, poop thought post. I went on there and I posted. I was like, the last 8 weeks. Last 8 weeks have really felt like Smodcast, Kevin Smith's podcast, in which we brought on random people joined in, and people have actually been talking, and we've been talking about random stuff. And, it's been giving me a chance to have an outlet that I didn't otherwise have. And so I really appreciated this podcast, even if, we get, fewer viewers than most people would, I guess, expect for a successful podcast. The fact that it even happens at all is a success to me. But,
as long as we get one person per episode and they remember or see the notification, if they hit the follow for us doing another podcast, they'll jump on, they'll listen. Or if they see me playing games like I do sometimes, I don't have a lot of episodes up on that one because the first one didn't freaking go all the way through the first time.
Yeah.
When we did it 3 weeks ago. Because the last couple weeks you've been tired and worn down, so we haven't done it on Friday, so.
Yeah. We were supposed to do that video game thing on Friday.
Which reminds me, I didn't put out my notification.
I've been having insomnia problems. So question, the answer to this will tell me a lot about you all as men. 2 questions, actually. Fire away.
Okay.
We'll give our best answers. Or at least we'll try. We got this.
No. There we go.
Who is your role model and what's your greatest accomplishments? I have a list.
I don't have any role models.
Tim is his role model.
I don't have a role model. I'm just badass and I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, wrong. Your role model is fictional. You have Wolverine. He's
not a role model.
You work your way to become like Wolverine. You think you're indestructible. You want to live to 100. You smoke cigarettes because you think you're going to live to forever.
Well, he never smoked. He just always held a cigar in his mouth. But I think that's funny because he's got a cigar in our green screen that we can see on the computer recording. He has a cigar lit, so that's funny.
So, and he has that. So mine, I went at his first because I always end up, I lift people up before I lift myself up. I've got, as far as role models go, I have a long list, and the reason why that is because there's so many fields I play in, so many areas I dabble in. It's kind of insane, but most people pick one. I pick 80. But I've got Darren Shan as he's an indie author / regular author. He writes for children, he writes for adults. Then I've got Stephen King, who has built libraries, who's influenced millions, who's manifested entire culture of horror and cultivated and catered to audiences for decades. He was one of the people that I wanted to be because I saw the fact that whenever he had power and whenever he had resources, he'd use them to build and use them to create. We got Stan Lee, who his name says everything really, but he's donated to charity. He's, created an entire generation. We're looking at his creations on the screen, a lot of them anyway. Then I've got Kevin Smith, who's a podcaster, genius podcaster. He's a filmmaker, a guru. He's a why not guy. He's your dream is to
also
create.
was the guy who didn't think he'd become famous by making films, and
really
then he became famous. And he's like, "Wait, I actually did it. I'm famous.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
That's why when you made the comment of the podcast, so I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's see if we become famous just by goofing off and shooting the shit about absolutely nothing. Because we do this whenever I come over on Fridays and Saturdays anyways. That's why I'm like, okay, we'll do it for the podcast. We'll just shoot the shit.
Yeah, so
that was my whole idea, just to do this randomly.
You have asked a very loaded question, my dear sir. But
for
basically,
you, not for me.
For me, it's extremely loaded because I have so many things that I still have yet to be able to do that I want to be able to do. I mean, I want to build shelters. I want to build fucking places where girls who have dealt with issues similar to my wife as a child can go to find refuge. I want Aries, my late puppy, to be built into a statue and be a symbol of hope. I mean, podcaster.
I'm gonna be buying you the other Ash necklace.
Okay.
That's $12.
Yeah, something like that. I've got writing. Have my novel out. I'm doing this podcast. I've done a lot of photography. I'm gonna be filming a video with my brother for my mom, like my mom's memory. We're making a music video for that. I've done a video with my brother and his brother's band for charity for this girl who had cancer. We've done so many. I've done so many. Like the list is huge. I've also done media for this horror group called Cinema Macabre, in which I did FearCon stuff with him, and I got to meet Sabretooth from the X-Men, aka also the guy who plays Michael. I met the baby Michael. I've met the lady because it was a giant Halloween panel essentially. I've also met Lex Luthor from Smallville. I've met Stan Lee. I spent a lot of my early 20s just trying to meet as many people I looked up to as possible. Keep saying those things you see on the screen. I think I'm not seeing those. On my recording for OBS, I have this picture of the X-Men and DC fighting each other. You're gonna see it on YouTube.
Well, it's Bane and Venom arm wrestling, and each universe is behind.
I forgot that the green screen is not working on your phone versus on.
Well, no, because we tried to do it over here on my computer, which I have setting up. I literally dragged my computer. Well, had his help. And dragged the computer up here so that way we could try to do the green screen.
Yeah.
But my webcam's kind of crap, so I just said screw it and live stream through Twitch on my phone, which we've been doing. But because my phone's an iPhone, which reminds me, I gotta spend $30 next week on getting me a little crap Android, because Android works better with Windows.
Why don't you just get an 851 or a Samsung S9 or something?
That's what I'm talking about.
It's not a crap phone. That's an awesome phone.
Yeah, but how much are they? To get one for Straight Talk.
For Straight Talk?
Your head?
S9s generally are more expensive than you're wanting. 851 is a bit more in that alleyway. But yeah, they're talking. If you're wanting a phone that can do what you're wanting it to do, because that's an SE that you're holding right there, an iPhone SE, and that one does really well for what you're doing. Not as great translating it to Windows computers, but
that's the issue, and that's kind of the funny part, because people are like, oh no, you can do anything on Mac and it'll translate to your iPhone. I'm like, bullshit, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Click on the whatever thing to... Oh, there it is. You just had to swing out of it, pop back in it for the computer.
Yep.
Yeah, every once in a while the computer camera freezes on us.
And so what I do is I edit the videos and I put a loading bar on it. It's a joke. Always usually works because there's maybe a 10-second or a minute long delay, and so there's a loading bar that goes and then it's done, and then it comes back. So that way it's done that. So that's that's a very loaded question, dear sir. But those are some of the accomplishments. Those are some of the stuff. I mean, that's a whole lot of bucket of win. As far as I'm concerned, I don't usually think of that myself because I'm a little too hard on myself. But it is a load of bucket of win. Hopefully by the time I'm 80 years old, I'll have at least 30 more accomplishments. What?
You're saying Samsung, which one?
Samsung S9 or the 851? The reason why I say S9 is because now there's an S10 and S20. So even if you go to S8, you'll still have a decent phone.
Oh no, for the S9, I just get the low gig on it. It's $259.
Okay, well that's
It's
not bad.
$260.
Yeah, it's
So,
not bad.
I mean, if I did that, we'd get better than the little crap one I bought for.
I still don't
I
see.
think it was
Yeah,
$10.
you're not gonna see it because of the fact that the green screen on the phone.
You'll see it on YouTube. It's the same name as my Twitch name.
Yeah.
So if you want to see it later,
if you want to see the actual
to
background.
us
Plus, you can also go to my channel, Thomas Paxton. You'll go on my channel
on YouTube,
and you'll see the actual videos that have like the actual backgrounds. The first episode, of course, is like this thing where it's green screen, but the future episodes all have actual green screen backgrounds on it because we were learning as we're
with
going.
the first episode, we kind of just ran with it and we're
Yeah.
just talking
We were just like
for 2
fuck it.
hours.
Yeah, we were literally
But
just
we're
like fuck
random
it.
like that because me, I'm more okay. I'm not really worried about it for Twitch.
Double fisting.
Because my thing is, I'm trying to upgrade my computer a little bit, which I'll be working on next Friday with my father-in-law, or just dad, because I don't.
No, you're not slow, my dear sir. You just don't know the process, and that's fine. Like nobody knows the process, but we don't even half the time we don't even know the process.
Yeah,
We're just going with it. But
we're running with it. One, and also two, half the time you don't learn the process until you're doing it.
Yeah, until you like got to episode 300,
And also,
then
there's
you're
a
like,
slight
what
delay on his phone.
Yeah.
Because it's running the live stream through Twitch, where on my phone, it pops up faster for us recording it and live streaming it. Twitch, there's a slight delay.
Yeah.
Also,
No, see, the average person doesn't understand technology still, and I know this because I work a phone job. So it's fine. Like I don't even know half the time. Like I got asked the other day, I was like, "What APN should I be using?" And I'm like, I had to look up the answer because I was like, I've dealt with this before 8 times at least minimum.
but
maximum
that
of like
happens,
3,000.
That's
But
just one of the things that
I
happens.
need to look this up again. Like I had to look up the answer, and like I had to remember the fact that what a static IP, what it does with the gateway and the subnet, and I had to look up shit like that. And then there was one time where this guy asked me about VPN, and he wanted to troubleshoot that. And when I got to the answer, I was like, I should go tech support, but then like that never happened.
WireGuard is a good one to put on top of the VPN you have, because it keeps you out of getting through a lot of the extra steps. Like, you're not allowed to do that. This is restricted because you're using a VPN. Blah blah blah. Barnacles, the guy.
Yeah,
the guy I watch
all the time. I bring up Kevin Smith. You bring up Barnacles.
He's a tech tuber.
Yeah.
And he talks about his tech on his Saturday live streams, Tech Talk. But he also talks about some of the stuff, like he just started using OBS to live stream on Twitch. And he tried to do it on YouTube the last couple Saturdays. But Stream something, one of the other programs, they're going to try next week for the Saturday. And he's going to try for Twitch. Because basically his Twitch streams are just, hey, let's see what happens. But he was talking about this sort of stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's all just a learning game, and
Says I work for Intuit. LOL. You work for Intuit? Holy
Nice.
fuck, dude! That is amazing. Probably make big bucks, like more bucks than I do. I don't know. Are you like a tech guy, like a tech support? Like would I be talking to you on the phones? Are you like one of the work desk people or the fuck? I'm trying to remember the technicians.
Yeah.
I had to like think of the most generic term possible because I talk to a lot of them all the time. Like that guy will come in and call in and be like, "Hey, I'm with the help desk." That's what I meant to say. I'm with the help desk and I'm just trying to activate a phone and then he like and then I work him through it and then like he just kind of like starts being like, sorry, I'm logging into all the security stuff, and I'm like, oh, security stuff, okay.
Have fun.
I was like, I get all
Not
fucking
my
freaky
department.
because I'm just like going, well, he's already smarter than me in some ways.
Well, we each also have our things we do, so it is what it is.
It's like, oh no, definitely not an agent. Well, you already still work in a very badass spot because you work for Intuit. You work for the company that develops the other laptops I was almost gonna get because I got an HP Asus Ryzen 3 recently, and that one works on Ryzen 3. Yeah, but there's another laptop that I used to have that did Intuit.
Yeah, it was yeah. I like some of the HPs more than the Asus.
Yeah.
But, each person has their own, and if you get one that's a little bit better than the one you got, then fuck it. It don't matter what the brand is, as long as some bitch works and doesn't die in a year.
Yeah.
But that's also where the year or 2-year warranties work.
I'm what they call tier 4 developer. I pretty much shoot shitty ideas to people who don't know how to use PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like every job I've ever worked at.
That sounds like a few horror stories I've heard from people.
I am pretty sure you are severely understating your position, my dear sir, and I'm pretty sure you are severely poorly positioning what you actually do and the fact that you're probably a genius.
Well, no, but see, that's the funny part. It's like, no, I don't do anything. My job's not important. No, your job.
I told you. You just admitted that you're a genius. So good work to you.
Aren't we all slightly?
He says, I am. And I'm like, I know you are.
See, I'm just the goofball who's the face of the damn channel. He's the goofball who talks to everybody and gets you all to like us.
Yeah, he's the face of his own channel.
Yes. Well, we're using mine to stream, so.
Yep.
It's my goofy channel. And then we end up putting it on your channel and my YouTube channel, so both of our faces are represented all over the place. Plus, you do your
you get my wacky
movie
personality
streams with I mean, not live streams. You do your recordings for the movie reviews with your wife, and I don't know who else have you done.
Oh, he says no, not a genius. He says no. So he just redacted that statement. He totally contradicted me and said, "No, fuck you. I'm not a genius." Said no, not a genius. Downplaying my job. I am me, dummy. He has a face for radio. Who has a face for radio? Tim or me? Probably Tim. Probably Tim is the one. I'm the one that has the weird face.
I have the long hair. Everybody's like, you.
Yeah, you have the face of a rock star. You're like Gene Simmons. Playing his guitar on stage and shit.
I'm the voice from the background. Do it.
Oh, he says you're Bon Jovi, apparently.
Okay, that works. I am definitely down with that. I'm a complete asshole, and I know it, so it doesn't bug me one bit. But see, I'm the asshole when put in the office. I'll actually get shit done by kicking people's ass and saying, "Shut up, motherfucker, that's not a good excuse. Put it through."
Yeah, see, I've got the wacky personality where I rely on my snarky sense of humor and my nihilistic personality to get through, whereas you rely on your good looks.
My good looks and my anarchy, yes. Because when anarchists, the whole A with the circle around it first came out, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And then somebody explained to him, like, no, dude, that's just life.
Yeah.
Anarchy is life. No, we gotta stay vigilant. We gotta try to make life not anarchy. Did you look at God's blueprint? Have you read the book? Free will! Let's see what the fuck happens! Oh, they're killing each other and doing shit. Well, those motherfuckers ain't gonna get it here. Get right?
Roll for initiative.
Our lives is the giant game of D&D. If you ain't got good charisma, your rolls are gonna be shitty on certain things.
Yeah,
because you're not gonna have the saves.
Just about every job interview you gotta do, just about anything you gotta do in your life to be successful in this world relies on your charisma.
See, my charisma with jobs are shit. My charisma with regular people, 1-to-1, or doing shit like this, I'm good. Let's just run this bitch into the ground, see where the hell everything lands.
Bald boy, you sound exactly like John Anik. Look him up. Who the fuck is John Anik?
Okay, look him up. Okay.
He's looking him up.
I know how to spell John, unless it's not.
So he spelled it Jonanik. Commentator for UFC. Are you complimenting or insulting me?
M-I-K?
Yeah, A-N-I-K. Well, apparently the guy's on UFC, so apparently he's, we got a really...
Oh, okay, yeah.
That guy?
I know that guy.
Is he funny?
He can be. Here, let's click on it, show you some of
the I love that's my first question. Is he funny?
I like him. I mean,
it says compliment, excellent voice. Well, thank you, dear sir. My wife always tells me that that she literally will lay on the bed and close her eyes and listen to me talk on the phones. I don't know why she does that, because I talk about the most boring shit in the world, like activating phones.
But it's our voices.
But apparently she loves it.
Women love our voices.
Takes the shit out of it.
Our women love our voices.
I figured she, is married to me, so she had to say that.
No. Okay, let's find something.
He's very vulgar but funny. I am vulgar as fuck, and hopefully I'm funny.
Okay, random as hell.
Alright, well, in keeping with tradition, the first guest in the history of the show
Playing
had
the
to
video.
join us for the first episode of the new year, and it's fitting as we put a bow on 2020 officially and look ahead to what is shaping up to be a massive 2021. Happy to be joined once again by the voice of the UFC broadcast, the Jalen Browns with my Peyton Pritchard, the great John Anik. Happy New Year, my man. How are you?
Happy 2021 to you, my man. It's good to be with you. It's good to be kicking off a new year with a lot.
Okay, I can see the voice similarity.
Email chain with these bout notifications, and I can tell you, man, these fight announcements are coming fast and furious. So it's going to be an interesting first quarter, and I think for those of us that have had a couple weeks at home, we're kind of jonesing to get back on the road and get to Fight Island again.
I agree, man. There's
Yeah,
just so much to talk about.
I see the similarities.
Conversation we had in early April of 2020.
So I guess that's what
Okay.
customers are hearing when they're hearing me talk, when they hear me de-escalate and stuff.
Okay,
'Cause I could go
I
from being
like that though.
super nice and super like calming and soothing to being like, you're gonna like I'm gonna be the one that helps you today, and because the guys get all super pissy and everything, and so I have to de-escalate the shit out of them. But like no, I can see it a little bit. Like he's got that smooth cadence as he goes through, and smooth like.
Plus, with your baldness and the mustache and beard, your
Yeah.
beard's a little bit bigger than his though. His is thin.
Yeah, his is more. His is more radio.
My neck beard is already half as thick as it was when I buzzed it off a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he's got the more radio personality face beard going on, whereas mine's more like.
Mine's
I
the,
obviously
you
work
don't
from
need
home.
to see me to hear me. Let's just talk about it.
Yep.
And let's play music and F the world. Oh, that
Essentially.
reminds me. I was going to put on some background noise, but...
Yeah, I remember that one podcast we had background music going on.
Yeah, Amber typed in what was it? Something we couldn't get. Lost words. It's non... Shit. Drawing a blank. Help me, dude. It's a non-what, so that way we don't get striked.
Non-copyrighted.
Or non-just... Yeah, okay.
He's looking at music, but yeah. To follow up with what I was saying about it. I liked how the movie was overall. I liked how it went, and I liked how at the very end of the movie
Okay.
they cap it off really nicely with this really heartwarming ending to it. Oh shit, that's loud.
Yeah, let me turn that down.
They should have like this old heartwarming,
Sorry,
this
it's
heartwarming.
good speakers on that damn little monitor. It's a little 20-inch monitor, but it is loud as shit.
Yeah, they have like this heartwarming ending to the movie, and like it just caps off really nicely, and it kind of gives like this well-rounded like arc to the characters. And normally in any horror movie, usually everyone's dead, but there was only one person who died.
Except for one person.
Yeah, one person who died. And I honestly
No,
like I
two.
said,
Technically.
yeah, like I said before, like the one that made sense because the one he died at the very beginning. And
Well,
then
he
the other
also
one,
tells you why he killed himself
Yeah.
at the end of the movie.
Yeah, he
So
writes a letter to
it
everybody.
makes sense.
Yeah. The other guy that died at the end, though, like, it kind of didn't make sense to me because if everything is an illusion with this monster, then why is that death not an illusion? Like, why is him getting stabbed? Like, Tim was trying to say it's because he believed that the stab was real, but at the same time, it's still an illusion.
That's how they killed it. Or they think they killed it, because you can't really kill a fifth-dimensional creature. In the 3-dimension, you can only kill it. When you kill in
They
the
killed
third
that
dimension, it
manifestation.
just keeps it from coming back into the third dimension. Which
Yeah.
means it's stuck in the fifth dimension.
Yeah, they killed
Sorry,
that.
that's my whole dimensional.
He killed the
From what I-
manifestation
but-
of that villain.
Before they killed him, they believed he was, which made it so because they believed he was nothing but small, tiny, a little crab clown that couldn't
Yeah.
hurt them. But before that, they were like, "Holy crap, he's huge, he's giant."
Yeah, it's a giant
with
spider
the spider
beast.
with the stabber.
The
so
spider beast
they
with the
believe,
pincers.
and they all believed
Spikes.
he could stab him with the spike, and it was real spikes that he could kill the guy with. So because they all believed it, before they decided to all flip the script and try to turn him into the nothing, he actually died before they got him far enough down to the nothing. So it was still reality that he got killed by the it.
Yes.
That's my viewpoint. I know you see it differently from a movie and a director point of view, but I like just indulge myself and like completely drown myself in the whole universe and the outcome by what they show in the story. And okay, well, this happened because of this, and that's not how you see it. That's why us talking about it is a good two-parter.
You know,
I see stuff one way, you see it another. That's why I was saying if I'm going to run for governor, since you'll be old enough in September to run for lieutenant governor, I'm dragging you with me because we're both
I'll be
basically,
30 years old.
I'm positive, you're negative, or where you're negative, I'm positive. You know,
Yeah.
we bounce it back and forth.
From a directorial perspective, though, like on two sides, on the logical side, he shouldn't have died. But
No,
on the other
I see
side,
your viewpoint there.
but on the other side, the directorial side, he for the purpose and sake of the story and the screenplay, his death makes sense because bottom of the barrel ending of the story, a character must die, like a beloved sidekick must die, and so.
And because he was the most scared
In
at
a
all.
hero's tale, the beloved sidekick usually bites it, and technically, the one that died at the beginning was not technically a beloved sidekick for the purpose of the story. He was more like just an old friend who was supposed to come back from the past, Stanley. Whereas Eddie, not only does he get a hero's death, but he is the one that shows them how to be not afraid. He's the one that shows them and reminds them what bravery is. And so, in that respect, his sacrifice is what's needed to carry the story forward, give them the light that they need, and they beat the villain. And so, I can see both sides of the story and why he dies and then why he shouldn't die. But I understand the fact that in the purpose of the sake of the 12-act story or the 3-act story, when it comes to Hero's Tale, he will die because he's the beloved sidekick. Beloved sidekick bites it. Like, they had to leave or they bite it at least some point in the story. And if they leave, they come back. But if they bite it, then they bite it.
Which Robin is it? It's the third Robin died and then came back as Red Mask.
Yeah, under the Red Hood.
Yeah,
that's
Red
the
Hood.
line.
Red Hood, sorry.
Yeah. And he comes back and he comes back to beat up by Batman because he's pissed off at him. It's Jason Todd.
I wasn't dead, really, asshole.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy. I noticed he hasn't said anything else. So I guess we'll carry on. But like yeah, like as far as this goes when it comes to It Part 2, I really enjoyed the story for what it was, and I liked the well-rounded approach, and like I said before, I liked how the adults at first fought coming back. They fought coming back like
you always
6
fight when you
times.
first get there.
But the thing I really liked,
Oh, that off screen, y'all.
but the thing I liked about Bill, the character Bill, was that not only was he trying to bring his brother back essentially, even though he couldn't, but he ended up trying to do that thing with that kid that liked Richie's act. You know, the kid that liked Richie's act, he was trying to save him, and he went out of his way to go save him from the big bad monster guy, and and he tried to save him, and it was a way of trying to bring his brother back, or at least a way of trying to right a previous mistake that he felt he had to own. And you see that when he goes into the basement, and the basement's filled with water and everything, and he's essentially trying to kill that regret. But that's kind of my thoughts on It Part 2. I know it was kind of an unintentional movie review, essentially, like a kind of an ongoing one, but there it is.
Alright, how do I see chat over here?
Just listening. Oh, I'm still here, fellas. Just listening. Yeah, my phone kind of died, so I need to go get the charger.
I'm trying to figure out how to pull up the chat on the Twitch on my actual TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, here we are, we're here, but alright, where's chat?
As far as the book goes, by the way, in case you want to know anything about that, because
there
I
we
did bring
go.
it up a couple times.
There's chat.
Awesome.
Now we have it.
Yeah, in case you guys want to know about the book, it's a dark fantasy story, which also takes influence from many horror films and many different fantasy stories, like, you know, Harry Potter being one of them, Cirque du Freak, Demonata, and then of course you've got A Nightmare on Elm Street, then you've got It, parts 1 and 2. It's a story about 5 kids who all deal with this evil super group that's rising back to power after essentially sleeping for years, decades really. And at first, it's just the Brotherhood, which is the adults, who have been trying to vanquish this demon named the Braxton, who's gatekeeper of souls. and then it turns into Peter, Virima, Orion, Sam, and Vilas,
You want to just
who are
read
all
chapter...
trying to face this dark evil and put it to bed.
Is that phone over there charged?
No.
Okay. I just figured I'd ask. I mean, because we can try to pull it up on here.
On there?
Yeah, so you can read it.
I mean, yeah, you can try.
I can probably pull it up, dude. I can do so much.
You'd have to pull it up on the Amazon Kindle app, because it's on Amazon Kindle.
Yeah, dude, I have my Amazon.
But,
I just...
the book is called Crimson Knightfall, Everything Burns, and it's under my name, TPAW, TPA Wolfric. If you just simply type in Crimson Knightfall, TPA Wolfric, it likely will pop up. It's kind of like a almost like a cartoon style book cover, because I was going for like an Avengers meets Scooby-Doo feel, because you've got the gang who are going against the big monster, and you've got like a supernatural vibe with like the angels and demons, and you've got like the Scooby-Doo vibe with the talking dog, because the Hellhound talks, and then you've got the demons, you've got all these different flavors. You've got the noiristic flavor with Vilas. You've got the dark fantasy survivor aspect with Virima. You've got the Monarch, Game of Thrones-ish type feel, dramatic type feel with Sam and with Peter. And then you've got the almost Clerks, Kevin Smithian type feel with Orion's point of view. Though his goes more into dreams. It's kind of like, Stephen King. You've got different flavors that are going throughout this book, and each one of the stories, each one of the characters have their own story or 3-act story that intersects with this overlying major story that groups them all together.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out where to... No! Fucking asshole. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Keep talking, dude. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it over here to get to my books.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, while you are bringing up with the books, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab my charger.
Yeah,
talk to crowd to keep you entertained.
alright, well, when you get back, you can type in your book name.
Sounds good.
Anywho, since we'll wait till he gets back for the book. Basically, I'm just a goof. Right now I'm trying to quit smoking 100%. I mean, I've been trying for the last year straight. I've been doing pretty good. I'm 90% smoking on my e-puff instead of actual cigarettes, so, it is what it is. I'm just trying to improve my life. I work out 90% of the time, 5 to 6 days a week. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, 7 days a week. I decided to, and I actually need somebody else with me to record this, which I'm trying to figure out or work out, or try to get my brother-in-law, Thomas, here, to come with me to the gym and record me doing the One Punch Man workout. 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 100 push-ups. And I'm trying to do that every day, plus do a regular workout, like an arm workout where I'm doing my biceps and triceps, and then the next day I'll do chest and shoulders, and then the next day's back, all the back, and then the next day's legs, and then on the extra day I have in the week, on the 6th day, I just do whatever workout I want, or I skip a workout. Plus, I'm also trying to keep track of my macros, but I've got most of it pre-measured and pre-calculated out, so I'm just trying to improve myself on that one. And I'm a DBZ fan, as you can tell by my shirt, and he's not real big into DBZ, but I found DBZ when I was a little kid, and Goku working out and doing what he does, I thought that was cool, and I started working out and high school, a few years after I found DBZ, and because of that, I actually just love going to the gym. I love the way I feel after I work out, and I'm just trying to improve myself and make myself better, so that way I can work out to such a way. He's even made a joke back on a few episodes back. I think it was the second or third episode. It'll be on my YouTube channel, and it's on his YouTube channel. That, oh, you're going to become the new governor. I'm like, no. My plan is to make Arnold look small. At least bulk-wise. Because Arnold's 6, or a hair above 6 something. Me, I'm only 5'9", 5'10", depending on the shoes I wear. So, I'm going to be the slightly shorter, bulky guy. Because that's what I want. You can't see it on the Twitch stream, but y'all will see it when it gets loaded up onto YouTube in 2 or 3 weeks. But Bane, basically. I want to be the size of Bane, but all natural. Because I know with my family's genetics, because with my little brother and whatnot, I can actually build myself up, because he has a job where he welds and builds trailers all day, like the ones that take the food and products to Walmart, Smith's, Kent's, what's the other one for Kroger's, Myers, Target. I know I'm messing with a couple other companies out there that we really don't have out here, but it's the thing of, I know that if I could get a workout like he gets every day from building trailers, I could be as big as him, if not bigger than him, because he might be my little brother, but he's had more situations than I have had in my life, because going through school, we didn't have welding when I went through high school. Him going through high school, they have welding, and he got to do that. I never got to do that. Really wish I'd have had the chance to actually weld in high school, but I wasn't able to because that was not an option. That's like, I was really bad at languages, so I wanted to learn a language that made sense in my head, which was German, because I tried to do Spanish, because they forced me to try to learn Spanish in my 8th grade year, so excuse me, I tried, but that didn't work out, which really sucked, but it ended up being a thing like, okay, well that sucks, I can't do that. Okay, well what type of things we have shop class. Okay, what's that? Wood building. I'm like, I already know how to do that. Do we have welding? No. Well, crap. And then with my little brother, who's 20, let's see, I'm just turned 39. He's 20, well, he'll be 21 this year, but he's only 20 now. So, 19 years between us. It's real funny how they do stuff in school now that when I was in school was not an option. Like they just started or tried to start when I was in high school, work release. You go, you work your job for half the day of school. The other half of the day you're actually at school doing schoolwork. I tried to do that to get extra credits my senior year because I was behind and tried to work out some stuff so that way I could get my credits, and it didn't work out. So I couldn't get the credits I needed to graduate, so I just dropped out in 99, and in 2000, I got my GED, the hardest GED test that they've ever had, because I heard, I think it was 2 or 3, maybe 5 years. After that, they made the GED a little easier. And the funny part about that is, like, why would you make it easier? It's supposed to be hard. It's the GED. That's kind of par for the course. GED is supposed to be hard. The GED I took made me the equivalent of it made the test say that I was smarter than a high school graduate. Now, GED is so not valid that it's basically turned it into, well, it means you're not near as smart as a high school graduate, and I think that's bullshit. Because some people like me who have issues with being around people or being around certain people who like to pick on you, and because I'd always got bullied in school, come my 12th grade year, I said, alright, I'm done. I'm not dealing with the stupidity of the system that's not going to work or help me get to where I need to be or where I want to be in my life. And that's also the other reason why I want to get into politics, or at least get into office, because I don't really want to get into politics. I just want to get into office. Why? For one simple fact: to fix the system, fix the money, fix the schooling, fix everybody saying, oh, I hate you because you're not the same type of Christian I am, which means you're not a real Christian, or I hate you because you're Democrat and I'm Republican, but you're not this type of Republican, or I hate you because you're a different type of Democrat than I am, or you're independent, or you're this, or you're that, you're white, I'm black, you're Indian, I'm Native American. Can we, like, just all get along? Uh-huh.
My sibling made that for me a bit ago. It's a Christmas gift. Figured I have to share that. It's got Aries on it. But yeah, while you were on the while you were doing the whole going on,
Just telling about myself.
Yep. I had to fight a giant kraken, a dragon, and so many other things. Do not believe what I went through. You don't see the blood on my body? I'm like covered, dude. I'm covered with, like, all sorts of it. No, I'm just playing. I'm just fucking with you. And fucking with all of you. No, I was just on the toilet. Got my charger and all this other shit. That's what I was doing just now. But yeah, no, you were talking about GEDs and shit? Like, what were you talking about?
Oh, in 2000, it was the hardest GED ever.
Oh, in 2000,
Which means I'm smarter than any high school graduate since 2000.
Okay. I graduated high school, so it's kind of hard for me to see it from that perspective.
Well, no, but see, no, what I was talking about is it's bad how stupid, how easy they've made the GED nowadays. Because now GED, they've said, it's not the equivalent of a high school diploma. Go fuck yourself, because we're not going to count it like that anymore on any application for any job anymore. I'm like, well, that's complete bullshit, because I took the hardest one ever.
Yeah.
So they even said in 2000, oh, by the way, this is the hardest test we've ever made because we think you fuckers are smart. You just lazy didn't finish high school. No, I'm not lazy didn't finish high school. I didn't finish high school because I was a bunch of assholes and idiots, and that's why I don't like the system, because it didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
If it had worked properly, I had to graduate it, and there wouldn't have been so much hassle. But with as much as I got bullied and picked on, and with as slow as the system went for me in school, that's the reason I failed the second half of every year, because it was still talking about the shit we covered in the first half of the year. Why are we still learning the crap we learned in the first half of the year and the second half of the year? This is asinine. Let's move to the next step. But not a lot of people in the classroom don't know the next step. Then put them in a different classroom that goes slower for math.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever had an issue with was English. And the only issue I had with English was reading. And I still have an issue with reading. I read slow. I admit that. That's a mental thing.
I think we lost Josh.
It's possible. I
It's
don't
like
know.
only one viewer left, and I'm like, oh, shit, I think we lost him.
No, he's still here.
Oh. Okay. Awesome. But yeah,
But you asked what I was talking about, so
yeah. No, definitely. I
just went into it again for a
I
quick
barely...
sec.
See, that's the thing is, if I graduated high school in 2009, and I still kind of only barely consider that an achievement, kind of, because of what you were just talking about.
It's an achievement enough to get a job.
Yeah.
But nowadays, with the GED, the way they have it, doing that won't get you a job. I don't know, whatever, you're just a dumbass, because GED is for dumbasses. Done. That's why I get pissed. Dude, I graduated with the GED in 2000. The hardest GED test ever. Doesn't matter. You said GED, so fuck you. Well, that's kind of prejudice and bullshit. Plus, I went to job corps. Ooh. What'd you do? Culinary. You want to be a cook? Yeah, how much you going to pay me? This much. Okay. Or because they hear that I've got training equivalent to head chef, because that's what I left as. Basically, head chef level equivalent in my culinary and job corps. Half the places I went to for the first 2 years of me after I got out of Job Corps basically said, no, we don't want to hire you because you know too much, or no, we don't like the way you're telling us how to tell the difference between a rare, medium, and well done steak. Because that's not how we check it. Well, how do you check it? You don't want my real answer. You want whatever answer you guys have decided is the way to check it. So just tell me what you want, and I'll say whether or not I agree with it. If I don't agree with it, fine, don't hire me. If I agree, okay, I can learn that, then hire me.
Yeah.
Because I had to do dishwashing for a fucking year and didn't get moved to the kitchen, even though I had kitchen fucking training already fucking down, assholes. And I was at Denny's.
Yeah.
Denny's got good food, but fuck them as an employer, I mean.
See, I went back to college to see if I could actually do it, and I've got an honor student status, and I've kept that honor student status ever since I got it. So I consider that an achievement. But graduating high school, barely consider that an achievement. That's something everybody does. I mean, not now anymore, because there's like 1 in every 5 students that actually graduate.
But high school's so easy, or for the people like me who is like, okay, math is easy, science is easy, can we like do something hard? Or me, because I'm a physical learner, have to hands-on and stuff, and because they never give me hands-on stuff with science, except for my first year as a freaking freshman, and I was learning stuff that the freaking seniors were learning.
Yeah.
It's like, no, fuck y'all. Because they basically took out the GED learning. Just type it in up top. My keyboard's right there.
I'm just pulling it up so that I can read it eventually. We're talking about stuff, though.
Oh, yeah, no. I get that, but what was I talking about?
GEDs, how much it sucks.
No, we got past the GED.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
was talking about college. I was talking about some stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's the whole... Well, also, the only issue I have with college is because I had people like, yeah, I'll get my, my doctorate or my master's, but the jobs that we need filled, and this was before COVID, and it's still kind of true now, because even with COVID, because we figured out wear masks and do certain things. The thing is that it's the whole point of, well, we don't need somebody who has a master's. We don't need somebody who has a freaking doctorate. We need basically grunts for construction and whatnot, and doctor's office. We don't need somebody who's an RN. We need somebody who's a not a NCA or certified CNA. We need like an LP. Licensed, or LN, licensed nurse. And there's a couple other steps in between CNA, certified nurse, whatever the last one is, and an RN, a registered nurse. There's so many steps in between point A and point, I'm basically the boss.
Yeah.
Paychecks. That, because we already got all the bosses, we need lower end people. But the bad part is, the good part is, if you go in as the lower end, and then you work up to basically being the boss, you get more respect from the higher ups. But the issue with that also is some of the BS that they put on us. Like, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say he, you're not allowed to say she, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that, you're not allowed to say F-U's, ass, curse words. Just a lot of crap in general, because somebody will get offended. Well, I'm sorry, that's part of being a human. If you get offended, okay, just don't go on a big rant, be a complete douchebag about it, because that's your opinion, that's not mine. I respect your opinion, but you don't have to shove it down my throat, because guess what? My opinion is my opinion, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
And that's my viewpoint. But that's also like, we need to unify all the money in the world and whatnot, so that way we can do certain things. You know what page I'm on?
Nope. Well, it got right to the page that you were on, but I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to read it from.
I think we said we were going to do it from chapter 5.
Yeah, so for some reason that thing doesn't have the table of contents, even though I built it in there. I think it's because you have the previous edition. I went ahead and did some stuff with it. And I need to just...
Oh, yeah, no. I got the pre.
I need to have Amazon send you the newest one.
Alright. Well, we'll do that later. Because you read chapter 1 and 4, wasn't it?
Uh,
Or Amber read 1 and you read
I read
4.
4.
Yeah.
I read the Violet's Mark.
So we'll go to 6. Not 5. We'll go to 6. Because like I said, we were going to read chapters in a row. We were going to skip. For the simple fact is, God, it teased them to buy your book. Okay, there's chapter 5.
I actually like chapter 5 a lot.
Oh, I know you do. You've talked about it a couple times. But it's the thing.
It has one of my favorite lines in it. It's
You
got
gotta entice them to buy. Oh, and a person watching on stream, if you're still there, his book is called Crimson Knightfall. Everything Burns. War of Souls, Book 1. Oh, hang on a sec.
otherwise,
Ow.
and it's my author name is TPAW Wolfric. TPAW.
Well, you can buy it on Amazon on the Kindle or actually buy the hard copy of the book. We're trying to figure out, me and him were talking about it last week. But you can go watch our last podcast on here, on my channel, and get chapter 1 and chapter 4.
Yep. It's
And
called.
he's going to read chapter 6.
It's called
here in a couple
Madness.
minutes.
Madness Nightfall. Kind of like a play on words. Play on the fact
So,
that
you wanna
craziness with the book.
Put that chair over here, so that way you can just read it.
Yeah, I can
You'll
do
still
that.
see it on screen, so we'll just switch chairs.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just grab the taller chair, so that way you have a cushion under your ass. So I grabbed the shorter one because we were trying to do it with my camera. And my camera's not quite as tall as, not quite as good as Amber's, yours, and my sister's. So we will adjust, so it will be easier for you to read. And I don't know, you might be able to hit the sidebar on the thing.
And
Yeah, it's this way on that camera.
his sister also drew the book cover.
Yeah, the other our third or fourth CrazyP now.
Yep. Our other P. So this one is called Chapter 6, Sam. As the fires burn, Majesty is a travesty. Every single one of the chapters, by the way, have it's like a serious tone meets funny tone. So, like, I was trying to make jokes with the titles, but I didn't want it to, like, oversaturate the seriousness of the story. And so there's, of course, a nihilistic, sarcastic, smart-ass tone in the story that's in each one of the point of views. And some of them, like Orion's point of view, there's more of a sense of humor. Sam's is more of a sarcastic, biting sense of humor. You'll see that as I'm reading. And then every single one of the chapters kind of just has like this. It's like this balance between serious and funny. But yeah. So I'm gonna get right
after
into
we're
it.
done with this podcast, you're done reading this chapter.
Yep.
We'll end it, and then if he wants to go hear the other chapters, you just got to go watch last week's episode.
Yeah, we'll carry on from there. Like, I'll read out the chapter, and then we'll carry on a little bit. But basically, some background information. This is after the first act. This is essentially Act 2. And if this is where you get more of a psychological horror spin. The last chapter was more of like a dark fantasy weirdness because the character was a dreamwalker. She is a fairy, and so you get the Majesty aspect of it. But I'll go into it. Like, I'll read out the story and you'll get it. But yeah, like, it's this a little bit of background information. When I was writing the story, the Sam story, this is a prelude to her serial killer arc in which she goes and hunts down rapists, essentially. I'm just going to go right into that because the very end of this chapter is like a planting of a seed for that, where her mom and her talk about what it would be like to have someone actually do that. And what her mom's thoughts are on it, she's not doing it yet, but it's kind of like the question of like, if you did deal with that, how would you react type thing before you actually do it. So, A Nightmare. Throne room in Skya, September, a week later. She felt her throat constrict, breathing impossible. Flames reached out, bright and dark hands, gnarled fingers, burning everything it touched with a deadly caress. She believed she was still in the temple square, looking for Peter, looking for Orion, Vilas, or the weird demon guy. She wasn't. Yet, flames were torching everything. She ran away from them and into other flames. The gleaming fingers of death tried to hug her, burn her. She flew up above instead. The world around her burned. As far as she could see, cities around her were in flames. She saw a distant figure floating amidst the flames. The flames didn't touch the shadowy figure. Instead, it looked like it tried to create a protective barrier from where Sam was. And the figure gestured, arms outstretched. A dragon flew nearby. The roar echoed inside Sam's stomach, jarring her insides. She heard laughing. It sounded like her grandmother. Hello there, Sammy. A familiar, smooth voice sounded in her ear. Snake-like smoothness, extra accented on the S. Sam turned and came face to face with the Braxton. Her hands immediately radiated energy. You bastard! She spat. Yes and no. Nice to see you too, young girl. Braxton looked her up and down, a smirk tugging at the edge of his mouth. You look stunning, given the recent events, what you've been through. And you look like you're about to be turned into road meat after I'm finished, Sam gritted her teeth. Young, wild, and dirty. Just how I like it. Braxton giggled, a throaty chuckle. She noticed ghost children floating nearby. She narrowed her eyes. No worries, they come in peace. Same with me. I wanted to show you something. Am I in your little realm? Are you going to make me think everything is fine? Surely before you try to have your way with me? Because if so, this talk will be brief and I'll roast you alive, Sam growled. No, we're in your dreams, Sammy. You hold power here. Over me. The children are here at my request. My reinforcements in case you try to roast me. Braxton's eyes glittered, like the very idea entertained him rather than threatened him. What are you trying to show me? I already know my grandmother is crazy, Sam bit out. Deliciously so. This world is very much yours. Skya in flames. After what she does, mint. He kissed his fingers. I am here to talk to you about the aftermath. What happens afterward? You see, you have more of a part to play in this than you think. Sam saw bodies in the streets, in places where the flames had begun to part. The shadowy figure had started to move throughout the city, gesturing the dragon this way and that. Many of the bodies were children, women, some trying to guard their own world from destruction, from Alex's wrath, cleansing of purity. What part aside from kicking Granny trash to kingdom come? Sam asked. I won't let her do any of this. I grew up here. My cousin has this world. This is my world. Nice sentiments. Beautiful and noble. Just like my Sammy. It's going to be so delicious watching you grow, Baxter murmured. He glanced at his ghost children. One of them giggled. I'm not your Sammy. I never will be. Neither is Virima or any of my friends. We'll stop the Trinity, just like we'll stop Alex, Sam growled. We'll see how this all plays out. Braxton caressed her cheek, kissed his fingers again. Sam watched in horror as one of the men who survived came at the shadowy figure and she heard the shout, For Skya! And the figure cackled with laughter. So cute. Sweet little man. Shadowy hands stretched out, and the purple fire turned the man's body into charred remains. Flames eating his skin alive, bones and sinewy tissue, feeding the flames around him, screams of terror. The voice from the figure was familiar, and Sam couldn't place it, but it did sound like her grandmother. The way this plays out is we stop you. All 5 of us. If the adults can't finish the job, we stop you. We stop the Holy Trinity. We stop Alex. Anyone who crosses us, Sam bit out. She glared at the ghost children who simply giggled at her. A few were sympathetic, others jeering. Poor little Sammy. Still hopeful, still noble. Everything burns in the end, my sweet dear little Sammy, Braxton tutted. He brushed her hair. Keep touching me and I'll turn you into char. Sam backed away from him. Her breathing increased. She hated being made fun of. Hated the children jeering at her. Show me what you want to show me. Get to the point. Oh, Sammy, it's right in front of you, all along, Braxton said softly, barely above a whisper in the air. The figure had gotten closer, close enough that Sammy began to make out the features and realized the horrifying truth. The horror of what's right in front of you, all along, you refuse to see it until it smacks you, till it burns you and laughs at your expense. She saw a future Sam Capella, manic glee contorting her features, wings outstretched, hands glowing purple, floating, as a skeleton army followed her, stabbing at those who opposed her while she guided the dragon Destiny, who continued to burn her own world to the ground. Join me. Take my hand, dear girl, and control where you go. You have a choice in this. Let me help you. Control where the flames go. Save your cousin. Save your friends. We can create a different future where your world doesn't get burned completely. Otherwise, Your darkness will consume you. You'll burn everything in the end. If you don't, my dear Sammy. No! Sam screamed, and she continued screaming as Abraxan simpered at her, and the ghost children began to chant. Sammy will burn it all. Sammy will bring her own fall. Join us at the end. Save your friends, for Abraxan will help us all. Sam found herself screaming over and over as her eyes shut to force it all out. She could feel Abraxan's fingers running through her hair, the chanting, her future self's eyes gleaming maniacally as she laughed. She had believed that it was Alex. It was always Alex, spreading hate, trying to control her life, putting her and Michael into a correction school when they were younger, deciding for her whole family that Skya must be pure and all fae. Recently, that had changed, and Alex had declared that all of the world would bend to her will. She saw a mirrored reflection, a younger, more lithe Alex, conniving anger and hate contorting her own features. She'd become Alex. She'd become what she hated, and the world would burn for it, unless they stopped it all. Next scene. Sam felt her throat constrict. A panic scream ripped from her mouth as she clawed at the air around her, trying to breathe. Peter rushed to her side. Sam, what's going on? Peter's eyes were wide, understanding flashing, cutting through the shocked look on his face. I don't even know, Sam moaned. Poor girl, probably another nightmare, her mom tutted. Sammy, quiet! Alex snarled from across the throne room. You! Sam growled. Her vision swam around her as she tried to sit up. She could barely focus. All she could see was fire, burning bodies, a crazed, broken Sam who burned her own world to the ground. Me? Alex crowed. Me? You were the one who caused this meeting in the first place, girl. You and your friends caused all the sorts of harm when a city burned. A city burned! People are dead! Children, women, soldiers! Back off, Alex. Your granddaughter, my cousin, was having a nightmare. Probably the aftermath of watching those people die and not being able to stop it from happening. If you remember, you caused it, not us. I don't even want to be here. My mom and dad are forcing me to be here. So back off my cousin, you crazed hag. Petrov, Leon said in warning to his son. Peter's eyes flicked to his father, and Leon had a gloomed expression, a haggard expression distorting his features. His eyes glowed a dark red as he shared a glance with his son. Control your son, Wolfric! Alex cried out, affronted. Or else I'll charge you and cause you to do the trials, vampire. That would be our choice, not yours, fairy, Hardus said. Careful not to burn your own aspirations so fast, madam. I can help my nephew reap all the damage you cause, Dad said quietly. His face was shrouded by a hood. He wore his black cloak and a silver blade flashed in the light of the room. I don't cause damage, Damocles, Alex hissed. Murmurs spread throughout the room. Michaela stood from her high throne at the end of the room, far end. Her black hair was tied into a tight bun, her caramel pale skin glinting in the firelight. Ariana sat next to her on a smaller throne, the princess of Skya, and the distraction from Peter as he started to drool. She had similar skin tone as her mother, caramel and pale. Her rosy lips were decorated with a thin layer of lipstick. Her eyes, silver like her mother's with a green flicker that danced. It reflected in the firelight despite Sam sitting quite a distance on her own high chair, representing as the granddaughter of a high priestess. Ariana smirked as Peter caught her eye, and Sam rolled her own eyes. Ew. Be all that it may, we need to place sanctions, security measures throughout all of Skya. I don't condone all that went on, and it displeases me that many died in a fight between two monarchs. People look to us to bring hope, inspire peace. Otherwise, revolts happen. Michaela spoke softly, but her voice carried throughout the room. Alex bristled at Michaela's mere presence. I can bring in an extra armada, make sure that they don't have more destruction. I have spare vampires that can help guard if you have extra face soldiers, Hardus said. Only if my ally Mindcrypt can bring in his black guard, Alex cut in. We'll have neither. When you had Michael and Sam placed in the correction facility, they trained with lead soldiers. We have had enough of human slaves. I think it would be good to have a decree placed place that allows those to fight for us, for Skya to earn their way out of slavehood. Heresy, one of the High Lords barked. Asinine! That's disorder! This isn't an easy time. War is near. If we don't watch ourselves, we could become just like our enemies, Michaela said. That being said, I'll have a meeting with Mindcrypt. I know he has some brilliant ideas to bring an extra layer of peace. The last great war nearly destroyed our entire world. When the vampire aristocracy began taking over the humans, all of their governments fell. Millions died. The world faced a very dark time. We're near that time again. We swore to never have it happen again. Sam got the feeling that Michaela's word was still word of law. I agree. Our entire world will change. Change is needed to survive. Vampires know about that firsthand. Knowledge is silent in a crowd of fools. Are we a crowd of fools? Crash's voice boomed for the first time. Sam noticed that he was watching all of the High Lords, his eyes measuring all of them. Knowing Crash, it was a knowing which ones were dinner. Quietly, but surely, murmurs of agreement began to spread. Sons of the Snake were known to have a worthy and sly tongue. Then what happens to the cretins who killed those people? I knew them. Some of them were family. My son's friend was in a catastrophe, one of the High Lords cried out. That is a simple solution. A woman in bright purple garb spoke out. Her auburn hair flowed over her shoulders. She had piercing eyes, silver, and they flickered black. Small scars were dancing on either side of her eyes. A single arcing mark stretched over her nose just above her mouth. My grandson and his cousins will participate in the Cave of Shadows. They'll carry the spear of destiny true and proud. He's a vampire, she's a fairy. Both fairy and vampire will unite for the world to see. Both Skaya and both Atreides and Brachia will see the might of our kingdoms, and while we are the leaders to carry us all forward. The woman now that Sam was remembering was named Nefaria. Your grandson tried to kill me, Alex hissed at Nefaria. My cousin, her grandson, also lost his hand over it, Sam gritted her teeth. You also cut his hand off. They will stand trial as representatives of the respective countries. The future monarchies will benefit for it, Nefaria retorted with the smoothness of a queen. Alex's eyes glinted and she shifted on her feet. Sam thought she saw Beelzebub standing by the doorway, and his eyes gleamed through the red, trademark of a demon. He smiled at his wife, his vampire wife, Kresh and Leon's mother. Kresh and Leon both nodded at their mother, who traded a prideful smirk with their sons. If it means keeping peace, that is what will happen. For all of Skaya, Michaela said softly. For all of Atreides, Brachia. For all of fairies and vampires, the artist proclaimed. Someone has to atone for Giles dying in that bloodbath, Bearclaw said softly. He stood standing by Peter. The werewolves had been gathering, and we had a meeting last night. Orion will need to start coming for the gathering of the Mother Wolf. They'll let Grace have her own boys to herself, but with Giles dying, there's been unrest with the Council of Blood. The Council of the Moon spoke of this. I thought you were just a teacher, Sam asked. I am just a teacher. I'm also a werewolf if you forgot, young Sammy. Bearclaw ruffled her hair. She locked eyes with Hardis, and Hardis motioned them for them to talk. Court is adjourned unless we have any verbal outcries, any further problems to discuss, Michaela asked the throne room. Good, she clapped her hands. High Lords began leaving the room, muttering about heresy and manic women. Nice going, telling Alex off, Ariana grinned. She hugged Peter. Sam noticed Peter hugging her in a very appreciative way, and she rolled her eyes. Someone has to tell the crazy lady to back off. She attacked Sam here, Peter replied. Oh, it was awesome. Very fitting for a future king, Ariana purred in his ear. Is it time for me to throw up now? Sam asked. Maybe later, dear cousin, Peter chuckled. Sam noticed Alex eyeing her and scowling at Ariana and Peter. This isn't over, her eyes seemed to say. It never will be, grandmother. It never will be. Everything burns. Remember? Next scene. Back alley of Skaya. Stay away from me! No! No, don't hurt me! No! Sam heard the screams just down the alleyway. Shadows playing on the walls, dancing strips in blurs of darkness. Her breath catches in her throat as she's running to the source and screaming, and hears whimpering and a low-throated grunting and laughter. Take it like you mean it, girl. You don't want to displease me, do you? You remember what happened to your sister. Sam wasn't entirely sure what was happening, but she could now hear the ripping of cloth and the smack of the flesh. The smell of sweat dancing on the air. She turned the corner and she froze, but not in a paralyzing fear. The sight made her want to vomit and gag. The man had short-cropped hair and a lanky and large body build. He held the girl down on the ground, and her body legs pinned against the wall like a pin-up doll. Her legs spread from behind, and blood trickled down her legs. Her wings were tattered and bent like he dominated her and beat her to a pulp to get his tight snake bite between her legs. He was slapping her ass and laughing, farting while the snake spat venom as he jerked himself against her from behind, and a couple times he followed her chest from behind, and she screamed bloody murder. The sounds raked against Sam's eardrums, and she felt her heart rip in two. And when part of her soul began to decay and fray at the edges, she had to close her eyes and focus her thoughts. The dark, bloody, crazy thoughts that penetrated and frothed at the frayed edges of her mind. The rain had begun to fall around her, and her clothes beginning to drip. Sam felt a dark, deep, croaky scream bend and rip its way out of her mouth. Her hands had begun to hum and pulse. After a couple of moments, the guide seemed to realize what was happening and turned to face her, his face gleaming with sweat and the dew of the rainfall. He had a giant bulge of a nose in the center of his face that crinkled when he sneered hungrily. Did you come to get fucked too, young miss? The dick is still hard, you know, he laughed as tiny snake, veiny and droopy, with white pus on the edge dripping off, stood poised. I'll rip your dick off and feed it to you, she screamed at the man. She threw a blast of purple energy at him, and he swatted away a smoldering nearby wall. Cute, fairy girl wants to play. I'll stick you after we dance, Miss Tood, he cackled. Sam almost felt herself hesitate. He'd swatted her blast like it was a fly. Then a rage burned deep in her chest and threatened to make her heave. She'd fought it and pressed on, ducking around him and making him fall against the wall, to burn his little snake off instead. He dissipated that and sidestepped her. Shoved her against the black brick mortar, her face slamming hard. She could taste the goo and the rubbed-off paint, the glue on her lips. She gagged and screamed, and he laughed like this was making him harder. She sidestepped him and kicked him hard in the groin and went to grab her throbbing hands glaring like angry hornets. Nope! He blocked her and did a 1-2 with his fists and got lucky shots. She was sloppy with hand to hand. She relied more on a radiation blast. She felt dazed and her vision blurred. She tried harder to concentrate, but his blows were like getting hit by a semi-truck twice full on in the face. She'd slumped over and everything went black. All she heard after was this chuckling. Now for some fun. Cold water splashed in her face. It felt like bowling balls were dancing in her head and pounding her brain. Her chest felt like it had been rammed hard by a bull. Burning sensations rocked her between her thighs. She went to shove some of the water down there to cool it down. She might have slept with her hands near her crotch again. Her hands were dripping with blood. It had congealed, but it was there. You all right, sis? Michael's cold, quiet voice spoke nearby. He must have been the one that splashed her. No, what happened? Sam blurted, and then regretted even talking. Her head seemed to explode and her jaw clicked when she talked. Her vision swam in front of her. She had to blink out tears of pain that rocked the back of her head. Waves coursed down her spine. You got some nice shiners, each eye. You look like a damn raccoon. I was hoping you'd tell me, Michael said. Same here. We heard the screaming and some weird shit happening. The guy himself lost his head, it seems. Michael did quick work of him, Peter remarked. Yeah, you didn't get far, Michael agreed. I'm bleeding, Sam muttered. She had a dreaded flooding in her stomach, and she vomited. Whatever she had in her belly was gone now, splattered on the street. Yeah, what do you remember, Michael asked her. I remember fighting some guy who'd been assaulting some girls, Sam blurted. She looked around, her eyes peeling open. She could definitely tell that her vision would need some adjusting. Well, you didn't stop with her, it seems, unless you bled like that before, Michael said darkly. Your legs look like when Ariana had that shit happen to her. Peter's mouth became a thin line. Sam was definitely going to be sick. In fact, she may even die of rotted dick disease, Twinkie flavored. Oh God, Sam gagged and spat out more liquid. Was I drowning in some fucking gutter? Probably. Did you sleep like a fish? Peter asked. Sam nearly hit him. She wasn't feeling utterly sore. She couldn't even radiate angry energy, just sore. It rained a lot last night. You may have drunk cloud piss, which means lots of piss, Michael smirked. Michael and Peter began giggling like children. You fuckers. Brother fuckers. Both of them giggled even harder. If you guys are still there, awesome. Hold on. Got some... Sorry, just trying to see the comments, guys, because you guys are commenting in the comment section. Hold on, I'm gonna flip over to the other one. Did he shit his pants? Who shit his pants? Oh, you mean Tim? Hey, whoa, dude, you gotta iron that green sheet. Laughed my ass off. When he stood up, I swear I saw something move. You did a bad job of covering up all the Christmas decorations. Yeah. You look like the losers in the back of math class the teacher said would never amount to anything and smell like ass, and boy, they were right. Please back up, this is scaring me. You look like an off-hand brand meat sauce. You guys here to just talk shit? Because, that's fun. Yeah, I was reading a chapter of the book that I wrote, by the way. Not expect you guys to like it based on how you guys are talking. Expect you guys to talk a lot of trash and a lot of smoke talk. Oh yeah, no, they are. There's two new people in chat. John Murphy, right, Miss Carlette, and then Brian Brad. They're all talking lots of smack. We appreciate you guys for showing up, by the way, even if, you talk a lot of trash. Apparently, you got up and they said, did he shoot his parents?
No, just need to get some caffeine.
Yeah, so caffeine, that's the answer.
Yeah. No, dude, see, here's the issue. Let me scoot back over into frame on the computer. You need to scoot this way. Be back in frame on the computer. But here's the funny part. Talking about the guys in math class. Actually, I was the guy in math class that the teacher was like, I don't know what the hell your issue is or with these people, but you're the smartest student I got in this class. Don't worry about it. So I don't.
Hey, yo, is that a Pampers box in the back? Maybe. There's a wife in this house. Got one of those?
You got kids?
Because if you don't, then I guess that's why you're probably asking that question.
Yeah, I just stole what was left of Judy's drink.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to reading because and if it isn't for you guys, that's awesome. Cool stuff. But I'm going to go back to reading the story because that's what this is here for. Not for a bunch of shit talkers on the internet. You fuckers, brother fuckers, both of them giggled even louder. Later that morning, Angelica, her mother, dressed in ragged clothes, walked both siblings to the local building in the town square of Merlia, one of the cities of Skya. Her lips were pursed. She didn't approve of what just happened, whatever it was. Peter just had gone to meet up with Kresh before. Apparently that's where he had been before he found her. The damned woman. As nice as she is of a person, the man didn't deserve to walk free. Wait, what? Sam choked down a sandwich that Michael had sniped from one of the local stores. Michaela let a man go free today. It's a disturbing new trend of hers. I tried talking her out of it, but she is set on keeping the peace with her people of the Fey Council. Despite all of us lords disagreeing, Mom bit her lip. What did he do? Sam asked. She was actually afraid of the answer. He raped a girl. Long string of rapes. You'd think that with Ariana's history that she'd be motivated with the idea of just wiping them out or imprisoning them, her mom said coldly. Wiping them out? You support murder? Michael asked intrigued. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit far. Perhaps maybe putting them away for a very long time. She never wanted to absolutely desire taking a life, Mom sniffed. She gave the vibe that she only half believed what she was saying. What if someone did avenge him, or tried to make things the right in a way? Sam asked. She wasn't sure what she was entirely proposing, but something in her had switched like the click of a switch. She was done waiting for justice to happen, done waiting for someone to help make the world a better place. She felt the darkness within her tighten at her throat. She felt ashamed for trying to stop the girl from getting raped that last night. She could feel the bruising between her thighs, the blood trickling down her leg, the emptiness. What is making things right? Her mother asked her. I don't know, making them feel as if the girls did, or at least making them understand, Sam said after last night. She definitely felt the burning in her heart, a rage that wouldn't go away. Who would check that person, though, Sam? Her mother asked. I don't know, it was a dumb idea, Sam said, half lying. It was a dumb idea, but one she was thinking of more now. She had once talked to Ariana about it offhandedly, and Ariana's kind of laughed it off before. Sam began letting her mind piece things together. To change topics, what is Grandma thinking? She's been trying to push Dad to try to overtake the trailers of Brachia, Michael said. Your grandmother is just doing what she thinks is right. We take care of her family no matter the cost. You both know this. It's a Capella way, her mother replied. Sam still felt the burning in her stomach from this morning. Maybe you need to tell her, Michael muttered to Sam as my mom had walked towards an ice cream booth to get a strawberry cone. I really know what happened myself, Michael. Besides, you think a flip will switch in her head and she'll hunt them down herself, Sam asked. We take care of her family no matter what, Michael echoed her mother's words. Sam felt the darkness inside of her growing like a poisonous viper ready to strike, and sometime soon, she may explode. That's the end of that chapter.
Scroll it back to page 36.
36?
Yeah.
Why?
Just on the bottom, it showed a scroll thing over there. Huh. Ah, there it is.
So,
Yeah, it's kind of on page like 36. Kind of reading it digitally. Like I said, I'm buying another copy for myself, so that way I can just read it. Just click out of the Kindle.
they said, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean? They warned us about your drug class? Wait, dude, can you do OS? What the fuck is OS? Explain this. Educate me on what OS is.
Is it a
colon
semicolon?
O semicolon or O colon S?
Is it a dot or a dot question?
No, it's just a question mark at the end.
Okay. So it's a dot, it's a colon.
Apparently, someone, Brian Brad says they warned us about you in drug class. They're still talking smack, by the way.
Let them.
Yeah,
No, see. Here's the thing, guys. If you want to talk smack, go ahead. 1, I ain't got much. 2, I don't give a shit. And 3, shut up and follow. You can come talk smack next week. It'll give us something to talk about for the people who actually come here and like what the hell we say during our podcast, where we talk shit and just talk about whatever, whoever, whenever, wherever.
Yep. You guys can be as shitty as you want to be. It still won't take us down.
Nothing can take us down.
We appreciate you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys taking it in. And you may even learn to like us. Maybe even a little bit. But yeah.
No, they'll like us. They just got to come back next week and catch us at the beginning instead of at the end.
Yeah. At the beginning where, we talk a lot of, we like at the beginning of this, we talked about part 2. Then we had that one guy, White Aljoy, talking to me about how I sounded like that one UFC commentator guy, where he said I was vulgar but funny.
I don't even remember. And he said I have the radio voice.
Yeah, the radio voice.
Yeah, because I'm so not shaved here and long hair. You got a radio voice. Well, of course I do.
Previous episode, we talked about, I read out, my wife read out chapter 1, and then I read out chapter 4. So now I've read chapter 1, 4, and 6, and so far, people that I've read it to have really enjoyed it. So you might find enjoyment in the previous episodes. If you guys decide to tune into those.
They'll be up on my YouTube channel, which is linked on my channel.
Yep.
And his channel on YouTube is Thomas Paxton.
Yep. TPAW. Thomas Paxton. TPAW. TPA Wolfric. By the way, that book that I was just reading out of, if you guys liked anything out of that at all, it's called Crimson Knightfall. Subtitle Everything Burns. And my pen name on Amazon is TPA Wolfric. So have that as you will. It is currently, if you have Amazon Kindle or Kindle Unlimited, it's free. You can borrow it. If you have it on Amazon Prime, you can borrow it. Otherwise, it is $3.99 for ebook and $14.99 for paperback. I did that as a partial half joke because Jason Mewes from Kevin, Jay, and Silent Bob always say, $15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If that dunny doesn't show, then you owe me, oh. And it's like, I totally butchered that, but whatever. But basically, it's $15.
I think they get the reference.
Yeah, so so you could put that $15 in Amazon's hand, and they'll give me like $3-4 in return. But because of the percentage.
Or if you have Prime, subscribe to my channel with your Prime. I'll get the $5.99 for the month, and then I'll give half to him, and then we'll both be able to make money.
Boom. Yeah, we're doing a Kickstarter here soon, and both him and I are running for governor and lieutenant governor. So
yeah, me governor, him lieutenant.
Yep.
In Utah.
Yep. So, and 2 choices you can make in this world. You can be a shitty individual and make no real actual good impact, or you can be an awesome individual, be the light that you want to be in this world, and be the light that other people, you want to see in other people's worlds, and help people. So,
and that's our plan, to do as much as we can to do what we've heard people talk about since he was a little kid and since I was a little kid. It's basically make weed legal. Yeah, make weed legal. Try to fix the money situation and try to fix basically our part of the United States best we can. And if everybody likes us here and we get enough people backing us and supporting us, we'll run for the big office when we get there.
Oh yeah, I think they're gone because they went from 5 down to 1. So
it's probably our original watcher.
Yep.
We like him.
Hey guy, you're awesome if it's still you. If you're still there and you're still tuned in, we appreciate you.
Yeah, send us a quick hi, but we're gonna end here in a few more minutes.
Yeah,
it's getting late.
Tim tends to clock out around 2.
Well, it's almost 2:30, dude.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. So yeah, so it's around the time that he normally clocks out.
Yeah, well, plus I'm starting to get tired, and I'd rather not drive while I'm tired, so.
That's true.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But, yeah. But this has been the Crazy Piece. I'm Tim Potter.
And I'm Thomas Paxton, otherwise known as TPA Wolfric.
And we will definitely see y'all guys next week. We podcast at between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. every Saturday night.
Yep.
Sunday morning, whatever.
So this has been the Crazy Peas, and have a week.
Take it easy, y'all.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Crazy Peas.